suffer in eternal torment. Suffer in eternal torment. You vile, despicable creature.
I thought I told... Don't believe a word they tell you.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will. My story is many thousands of... It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensible. But despite all that, my kin and I all adopted this form long ago. In time, we grew fond of... No. This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, or perhaps you might know her as the... Your gaze lingers too. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Carol. Her role is to ferry souls between them. For that, she earned... You will talk more later. As you... It has come to be known simply as the Underworld. That is a long story. You see, long ago my kin and I set... We discovered your planet. You all but destroyed yourselves. Yet Proserpina saw... So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place... For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to... We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon my kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, but my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it, she made an extraordinary sound. And so she began her innocent... Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her... And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to... It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him. Humans were unworthy of ascension to it. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, so that I might take her with me, and here I am. There were also God, our leader Jupiter, as well as and of course, as the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths to cleanse them of the sins of their former life. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as, of course, believing themselves to be this, after another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive. They built upon the underworlds of their... to ensure the wage was fair. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coined. Later, when they spread to Greece, some placed coins in the mouths of their dead. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. Your kind will have squandered. It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of... To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his... But the erasure did not take completely. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's story. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning. And in a series of incidents, a warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus, they each told embellished tales of this. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind... Of course. That is merely the name your people have given to it, but that is a story dating back to the very first. Now, this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife. Of all the women, two were particularly ambitious, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. Draped herself in jewelry. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. While the others indulged at the banquet, she checked that nobody was watching and pushed her rival from the... But I was watching. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her, and I left her to stand there, that she might serve as... But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted, so I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved. So I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about. And when you disobey, and you always... And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourself. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to deter. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who express this rule. For you, perhaps. I'm able to commune with all of the statues. If she was still conscious, I suppose she could. Then what? Do you plan to speak in sweeping general? Abduction? You mean the mad... He did so because she sought to escape. It's better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire... Now tell me. Very well. I would recognize that anywhere. And yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your trick. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she... I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never... What will become of you is difficult to predict, but now... You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Oh. Hi there. Well? Know who you are. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of... I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot... Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a... Apparently there was a community of 20-something. They believed that if even one person sinned, then, one day... Just as Galerius, an oracle appeared, and told him how to solve the ills of this, saving the life of a dying, foiling innocent, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to and the doors just... Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have... Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of... What became of... And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terror... What? Anyway, I think I found a way out through the... I'm gonna pause here for a moment. You go on.
You're back! But... Oh, what a relief. Why don't you tell me what you discovered?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. That most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in the... That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been... Usually, when people... Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly. As you wish. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid. trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here. It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans bearing their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for well, those stories contained a seed of... A long time ago, my orders were simple. Whenever... It means there is nobody else to... I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. And there was a tablet describing an oracle.
Sounds like quite a story. You two look
Sounds good to me.
And you?
Hey, you made it. It's great to see it. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. After everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some... So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people... I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Oh, there she is! You're finally here. Remember me? It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and... Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man. I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're gonna be around... Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you'd better keep moving.
You're here. It's lovely to... So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it's... Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the... It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to... We're just so thankful for... Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered See you at...
Hello.
It's you.
Galerius said you're very nice. And I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like... Yeah. Bye-bye.
Hi there.
Hello!
You are here. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I'm studying to get into medical school. As when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world. If you too.
You're... Oh, of course, sorry. And of course, getting me... Oh, I barely recognize myself. Eventually I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft. Oh, sorry, you already know all that. I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude? I couldn't agree more. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still... Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to Nigeria? Well, you are the Oracle. Huh. You too! If you're ever in London, let me know. You're welcome.
Evening.
Hey.
Hi there, I'm her... I understand we have you to thank. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still... I have to keep challenging myself. The ones who pioneered our paths aren't... Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. In the words of Epictetus, remind yourself your... Thanks. Oh, and I don't... Great. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You're not... See you at drink.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove, she knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again. Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go... Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Bob... He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trap. Eternal torment. Just... Then I suppose he got his wish. You too.
Hello.
Greetings. You must be... I am told... I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once, perhaps, one day. Once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her, I hope you will join me there and regale me with... You too.
Greetings. I take it you're the We have. I'm sorry, I don't remember. In any case, I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now, and it seems I have your... I'm working as a consultant to the faculty. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around. My sincere...
Hello. I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been... I'm just... Well, it's not like I have to work with all the... Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging... Thank you. You...
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. Whatever you did in that temple made me a... Such acerbic I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started in fact, I was hoping to ask your advice. You being the Oracle and future seer and all that. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock of... Of course, don't let me...
Good evening.
Hello there. Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming, and... I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people. Thank you. And you.
Greetings. Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I'm recovering. Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled. And you?
What is up? It is an art. You know. Oh, of course. I too would like to offer my thanks for relief. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but instead I have decided to follow the custom of your youth. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to. Indeed. Thank you.
Hello there. Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me. And that... Don't worry. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. You can try...
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I understand I have you to thank. The way you just showed up out of the blue. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. Every day I look at her, and this extraordinary new... So we're living each day to the fullest. And we're sitting together on our terrace with a glass... And I... Thank you. You...
Hello. Nice to meet. I go by Rufus now. For what you did, sorry, I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very... haven't... Huh. Good to know. Anyway, it was... You too.
It's so nice to finally... I wanted to thank you personally, and for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just down the river. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets. You natives of the 21st century. You too, as Rufus said in his own laconic. If you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. And now, I wanted to meet you in person. And thank you for freeing all these people. And me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was I was able to control their tongues, and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows. I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still, after witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, so I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to... I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly, to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We were all fortunate you came along when you did. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
you? Do you know you're here? Wait, what? God, am I going out of my mind? What? I hate you. I spit on you. There's no time. Wait, did you... Oh, he's here. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it? Do you really think you can take on a... Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.